AI, machine learning, deep learning. You hear these terms thrown around absolutely everywhere. But what do they actually mean? If you've ever felt like you're just lost in a sea of tech buzzwords, you're in the right place. In the next few minutes, we are going to sort this out for good. So let's just dive right in. These terms get used all the time, and honestly, they're often used interchangeably. So, are they the same thing? Are they rivals? The truth is, it's a super common point of confusion, but the relationship between them is actually incredibly simple once you see it the right way. And here's the big secret to understanding it all. Think of Russian nesting dolls. You know the ones, right? You've got this large doll, and you open it up, and there's a slightly smaller one inside, and an even smaller one inside that. Each one is its own distinct piece, but they all fit together in a very specific logical order. This metaphor is the key. So let's start with the biggest doll on the outside, the one that contains all the others. We're talking about the original big picture idea, artificial intelligence. Artificial intelligence, or AI, is the broadest concept you can imagine here. It's the entire field of study. You can think of it as the ultimate goal that researchers have been chasing since way back in the 1950s. This grand dream of making machines that can think, reason, and act like humans. It's the whole universe we're operating in. To make this super simple, let's use an analogy. Let's say the grand dream of AI is to build a robot chef. Now, I'm not talking about a robot that can just make toast. I mean a robot that can taste, create, improvise, and cook any meal you ask for, just like a world-class human chef. That huge, ambitious goal, that's AI. Okay, so if AI is the big dream, the what, how do we actually get there? What's the how? Well, let's open up that first doll and look inside. This brings us to machine learning. Now, notice the key word here, approach. Machine learning isn't some separate field from AI. It's one of the most powerful ways to achieve AI. See, early attempts at AI tried to work by programming millions of little if this then that rules, which was just incredibly clunky and fragile. ML flips the script entirely. Instead, we feed the machine massive amounts of data and let it figure out the patterns for itself. In short, it learns. So let's get back to our robot chef. How does it actually learn to cook? Through machine learning. We don't program it with if tomato then add basil. Nope. Instead, we feed it data from millions of recipes. It crunches all that data to discover the patterns, which ingredients go well together, what are the ideal cooking times, what makes a dish a huge success. It's learning from experience, not from some giant rule book. But what if we want our chef to go beyond just following existing patterns? What if we want it to, invent something totally new? For that, we have to open up the final, innermost doll. This is where we find deep learning. So, deep learning is basically a highly advanced, super-powered type of machine learning. The key difference is that it uses something called neural networks. These are complex digital structures with many, many layers of processing, and they're inspired by the way the neurons in our own brains are all connected. This layered structure allows it to find much more subtle, complex, and abstract patterns in data than other methods can. This is the next giant leap for our chef. With deep learning, the robot doesn't just learn that tomatoes and basil often show up together. It starts to understand the fundamental principles of flavor itself. Things like acidity, sweetness, umami. This gives it what you could call an advanced palate. And that's what allows it to invent a completely new, delicious dish that has never existed before. Okay, so we have our three nesting dolls: the big idea, the method of learning, and the advanced technique. Now let's put it all together and see the whole picture, clear as day. And there it is, the whole thing, laid out. AI is the entire field. That's the big dream. Machine learning is a way to achieve that dream by learning from data. And deep learning is a really powerful, advanced technique to do that learning. So you see, it's not A versus B versus C. It's C inside of B inside of A. Simple as that. Let's just break it down one more time to really lock it in. AI is the broadest concept. Any method works. Machine learning narrows that down specifically to learning from data. And deep learning narrows it down even further, using those special neural networks to do the learning. The crucial thing to remember is this: each one is just a more specific version of the one before it. So why should you even care about these distinctions? I mean, who cares, right? Well, because this isn't just some abstract theory. You are interacting with all of these concepts every single day. No, really, think about it. When Netflix recommends a show that it just knows you're going to love, that's machine learning analyzing your viewing habits. When your phone's photo app magically groups all the pictures of your dad together, that's the power of deep learning, recognizing the complex patterns of a face. And when you ask Siri or Alexa a question, you're using a mix of both of them just to be understood. So if you take just one thing away from all this, let it be this. They aren't three separate ideas competing with each other. It's a progression. Deep learning is a type of machine learning, which is a really popular way to achieve the grand vision of artificial intelligence. And that really leaves us with a big question for the future. We've got the overall dream of AI, the approach of machine learning, and this powerful technique of deep learning. Now that you know exactly how they all fit together, which layer of this technological nesting doll do you think is going to ultimately change our world the most? It's something to think about. Thanks for tuning in.